This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. Well, Ace Hood does an interview on Drink Champs, and it's pretty good, okay? So he addresses a lot of things on here that a lot of people were wondering about. It's actually a shame, even though Ace Hood is doing well, don't get me wrong. It's a shame how everything progressed with him because he got caught in a whirlwind of another man's career called DJ Khaled. So even though that DJ Khaled kind of put Ace Hood in a position in the beginning, it's not good having somebody else looking out for their career as well as trying to run your career sometimes. You can see that with all the artists DJ Khaled has had. It hasn't really worked out unless they have their own representation and everything. Now, DJ Khaled, we could go through this really quickly because we've gone through this in detail before, but DJ Khaled, and I was around during this time, but DJ Khaled took Ace in around 08, okay? And he had, big people on his records. T-Pain, big records, right? But the problem is, DJ Khaled didn't really completely give Ace Hood his own team. It was intertwined with his stuff. So DJ Khaled's dropping albums every 2 years too. And it does cross-promote, but at the same time, it confuses the business. So Ace Hood dropped 2 albums that didn't really do that well on Def Jam with major features, right? Ace Hood was young. He's a little bit younger than me. And, so I was, how old was I around that time? 26, 27, somewhere around there. And so, all that was going on. And I was part of the video team doing a lot of videos for Ace Hood. Now, there was a time where Ace Hood you didn't hear from him anymore. Khaled was focused on his albums, and Ace Hood, has talked about this time where, he ran out of money and had to leave his apartment, a bunch of stuff, right? He didn't have a ton of money. And he didn't really run through the money like crazy like that. It was just that a lot of money wasn't coming in anymore. And Khaled wasn't really pushing him anymore. He was kind of focused on himself. Ace Hood made Hustle Hard himself and came back to record it. And when Khaled heard it and it started going on, Ace Hood put it out on a mixtape, DJ Khaled jumped back on the bandwagon once Hustle Hard started working. Then you had a bunch of records after that. You had Woke Up in a New Bugatti with Future, a bunch of other stuff. Khaled moved them off We the Best off Def Jam and moved it to Cash Money. And then when Khaled didn't like Cash Money anymore eventually, he wanted to go more independent. There was a time where, remember, Rick Ross was talking about, oh, I can't believe Birdman's doing Khaled like that. And, Khaled was a little bit depressed around this. This was right before he started his Snapchat. And, the Cash Money deal wasn't what all it was cracked up to be, even though they did big records on there with Drake and Wayne and I'm on One. Ace Hood got left in limbo when Khaled moved over independent. Ace Hood said he felt disrespected around that time because he wasn't included in a decision to leave Universal and Cash Money. And I would have too. I mean, it's you're not just a puppy dog at that point, the first 2 or 3 albums, sure. But, we're going on a 4th album at this point, So Khaled was always concerned about himself. Khaled wouldn't let Ace Hood out of his deal. This is a rumor, but I'm pretty sure it's true. $1 million he wanted. Khaled had other artists that, you've seen through the years. I mean, he did sign Movado. DJ Khaled artists. You had Movado that he wasn't really able to do anything with. And Movado is super talented. Let's be honest. Let's see. He had this one guy. Let's see. We the Best artists. Let me see. There was this one guy that was actually doing really well. I forget his name, man. Well, we had Flip De Niro who did something, but it was Kent Jones was the big guy. He had a smash single. Never heard of him again after that. And remember, when DJ Khaled got big on Snapchat, he wasn't promoting Ace Hood anymore. They were already at a point where they weren't talking anymore. Flip De Niro, he signed him at one point. Heard one song, never heard from him again. Vado, one song out. And, you know, you still hear from Votto, but not the We the Best situation didn't work out. Steph LaCour signed her. Nothing happened. DJ Khaled is about DJ Khaled. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying he wasn't the best. He should have had somebody else handling the artist. He shouldn't have been so hands-on with himself. Then he talked about Meek Mill. So Ace Hood has an independent situation now that's doing well. He's happy. Okay, so that's the positive. Ace Hood he wasn't throwing anybody under the bus either. So let's make that clear. He was just telling a situation he went through, and he's glad he ended up on the other side. Meek Mill. He doesn't throw shade at Meek Mill, but he does acknowledge that Meek Mill did borrow his flow, off Hustle Hard. And he did. A lot of people did. A lot of people used Ace Hood's flow. And, Meek and Ace Hood did a lot of records around that time. But after the split with Khaled, which, Meek Mill should be able to sympathize with the whole situation, because when Meek Mill was going through it with Drake, DJ Khaled wouldn't touch Meek Mill. He was never on any Khaled albums again until after Meek and Drake got cool again. A lot of people turned their backs on Meek Mill, and Khaled was one of them. Meek Mill should realize that and, probably do something with Ace Hood. Ace Hood could use the commercial support on an independent level, like to get him there, especially when you borrowed the guy's flow. If anybody used Ace Hood's flow back then, they got to do a feature with the guy, So it's just a nasty, entertainment is a nasty, nasty, selfish game. Don't let anybody fool you. He also talked about, I talked about this often on here, the my brother talk that these guys like Khaled and them use. It's not about my brother. It's about me. The my brother thing, it's a trick to make you feel like you're family. And then like, yeah, we got to do this. You're my brother. They don't mean that. It's evil, man. I'm telling you, man. Khaled used that on me a lot, but then he owed me money, like it was just whack. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like I did a lot of things for Khaled. I didn't charge, because I just, I felt like we were doing each other favors. Like, yeah, I do this. It's good for me. You shot me out here. It's good. But when it comes to something we agree on, I didn't charge him for everything, but certain things I charged him for. Like, if it regarded Ace Hood, I was part of the marketing budget on that. That went through because it went through Def Jam. But he had another artist called Red Rum where he didn't pay me for any of the videos. And I released them all thinking we were cool like that. Like sometimes you're gonna just get into a position where you'll do the right thing and the other person won't do the right thing. I'm not gonna, don't cry. It wasn't a ton of money because it was like I thought we were friends, so I charged him super low. Charged him for the price of one video for 4 because I also want to see artists win. This guy was talented. Red Rum's very talented. And, I felt like, you look out in the beginning because there's no money coming in at the moment, and you get a payoff in the end. That's how it's supposed to work. It doesn't work like that in the music business, though. There has to be contracts in place for everything. So, yeah, Ace Hood is doing well. He named a few artists like Chris Brown and stuff that don't really reciprocate that energy anymore. I'm sure listen, if you're not with We the Best in them anymore and you kind of took a stance against it, and even though Khaled has said they're cool now and everything, just having that stance and everything there, a lot of people won't touch it because they want to keep their relationships good because DJ Khaled got a lot more powerful over the past 5 years, a lot more powerful. He's pop. A lot of things are working for him. So anyways, I don't know, just take this as... Always take these things, getting off this subject and just personal with you guys that you're listening to this. Take this as advice to always really look out for yourself. I'm not saying do contracts for everything, but there has to be a conversation where, you got to kind of just judge things. Like, does this person really have my back? And you got to put them to the test a little bit, because a lot of these guys are just looking for themselves and how much they can get out of you, and they're going to drain you like a wet towel and get all that water out, all that, everything they can get out of you. And then they're going to throw you to the curb. And that happened with me a lot of situations. It doesn't feel good to be used, you know? So try to judge these situations, and when you get to a point, you should probably put... I had enough power at the moment when I did all this to have contracts in place, you know? Like, yeah, I'll do this, but do this for me. Get something out of it, always. I shouldn't have taken money. I should have taken something else. I should have had him host a tape for somebody, charge somebody 10 racks for a DJ Khaled hosting, right? And just had him host the tape. That's what I should have done, but I didn't do that. I thought about just in terms of cash when I could have just bartered him featuring on a tape or something and charged the other person $5,000 or $10,000. I would have made more money than the one video, you know? I didn't think that. I didn't think like that, and that would have been the best way to do it. I was stupid. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. You got to think in terms of that. Think of, it doesn't always have to be money. You could do bartering. People love to barter more than anything because they don't think about how much their service is worth, you know? You can actually get more out of it if you do it like that. It's way better. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button. I appreciate you guys, and I will check you guys on the next video. Peace.